Welcome to the Paul Cervizzi Show. We have Alyssa Buckley with us here today of Wellswear, and we'll get into that. But what a phenomenal story that she has, and we're so excited to have you on. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Oh, gosh, I know. Don't be nervous.
I'm a little nervous,
That's
but
okay.
I'm excited too.
Nervous is good, right? That nervous excitement is good.
Yes.
So we're definitely going to talk about Wellswear because I think that is what I would call a transformational journey that you've been on.
Yeah.
But let's go back a little bit so the audience has a chance to learn a little bit about you and your background and how you came to this place in your life, because it's got a little bit of
everywhere.
a little bit of everything. Yeah. So tell us where you grew up, what area in Mass, or
Yeah, so I grew up, I didn't grow up anywhere because I was everywhere. I moved a lot. So I was born in Springfield,
Mass. Okay, western part of the state.
Yep. I went to a couple years of elementary school there.
Yep.
I still have a lot of family there. But my parents, right before middle school, decided to move to Boston. So we moved to Boston. We lived in West Roxbury.
Okay.
And I lived there for 3 years. Went to public middle school in Boston, which was really tough.
Yep. Why was it tough?
I went from kind of suburban life to city life.
Okay.
So it was just, just such a different experience for me, something I wasn't used to. And as a kid and adolescent growing up, it was a lot.
It was a transition, right?
A huge
From
transition.
What you were used to in
A huge transition.
Springfield.
After I've already had a transition moving into a city from Springfield, which I guess is a city, but it's not.
Got it.
Not quite like Boston.
Okay.
Then my family moved to Brookline for high school. So could a Boston public middle school and Brookline high school be any different?
Oh, yeah.
No.
No.
It was complete different. So I went from going to school with people that had similar experiences growing up as me, similar families, and then I went to Brookline where everybody lived in multi-million-dollar houses.
Very affluent, right?
The money was just money you don't see.
What, if I may, what precipitated the 3 years Springfield, so a couple of years West Roxbury, now to Brookline? What?
I think my parents, I don't think they had a very stable relationship. They
Okay.
were together, but I think it was a lot of change. In hindsight, they're divorced now, so it
Chaos.
obviously, just kind of chaos, and we all just went for the ride with them, right?
Yep.
And then graduated from Brookline and went to Bridgewater State, and that is where I think I really became myself and figured out who I was, because I didn't really have time for that in adolescence. It was so much moving, so much just trying to be okay in these environments.
Did you have any siblings?
I do. I have a sister. She's 5 years younger. So it was a little different for her because she kind of grew up almost entirely in Brookline because she started elementary school there. Because 5 years when you're in school age is a lot. So she had a different experience than me.
Yeah,
I don't
course.
I don't know if she's going to say she had the best experience ever, but we live different lives. And they say all siblings do, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. What, if I may, what was living? How long did you stay in Brookline?
All through high school. So
All
4
through high school,
years.
4
and
years.
Then, yeah.
And then you okay. So what was the Brookline life like?
Just something that I could never compete with. My family didn't have money, so we weren't getting our parents' credit cards to go shopping and go to the mall, and I didn't get a car, and it was just, I was from one side of the tracks, for lack of a better word, and everyone else was from the other side. There wasn't really anyone that was poor there.
What was school like for you since you had a transition from the other communities?
I think initially super hard making friends, right? Because I just came from a school that was polar opposite.
Yep.
And I'm very adaptable. So I made friends. I always have a group. I always found a way to make myself comfortable because that's what I need to be, is comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that answer that question?
You blended in.
Blended. Yeah.
Blended in. Okay. Now you went off to college at Bridgewater State, right? Mm-hmm. Did your sister and parents stay in Brookline at the time, or?
Yes. And throughout college is when my parents really started getting divorced. So that's where my sister kind of had the brunt of her trouble growing up because she was living in the home with
She
my
was
parents
living
getting
home,
divorced,
and
right?
you lived in Bridgewater.
And I lived in Bridgewater and had no idea what was going on back at home because I could have been in Italy, for lack of a better word. That's how far Bridgewater was in my
Compared
mind.
to, yeah.
I never
No,
went home. It was so far away.
I get it. No, 100%. What was Bridgewater like? What'd you major in? What was your social life like? What was your academic life? Did you know what you wanted to do? Not that anybody does, but some do.
I thought I did.
I don't know.
So I started there as a criminal justice major. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to be a cop because
You wanted to be a cop.
in my eyes, I was like, that's a stable job. That's a good job. They drive around. It can't be that bad. I'm going to be a cop. So I went for criminal justice. I took one criminal justice class and I was like, this is so negative. I don't want to do this. I'm scared of it. I'm kind of a scaredy cat. And I
My
was
daughter says that about me too. You've got a skewed way of life and thinking.
yeah, I was like, if it's me against a criminal, I'm gonna be like, no, go ahead, don't hurt me. Like, I'm not the one that should run in and protect you, right? So I immediately switched to communications
After one course.
after one course. And what's communications? I don't know. It's just a degree that you get that kind of fills in the bubble. I don't even know what communications is,
Well,
and
no,
I've graduated with that.
I get it. No, and a lot of communication majors and a lot of people that are involved in communications. I mean, we're going to get into this in a second, but let me ask you a question because you used the word stable. I wanted to be a cop because it was stable. And a big thrust of this show and the people that are on the show and what resonates today for me anyway, and for the guests that I have on is we're brought up into this stable, comfortable thought process
Yeah.
from early on, right? We go to school, no matter what community we're in. We go to school, some go to college, some don't, some go into a trade, some go somewhere else. Then we, have a relationship, we get married, we have kids, we get the house, we get the white picket fence, we get a dog or a cat and collect your pension, your comfortable pension, and you retire and then you die, right? So it's
Yeah.
kind of like this roadmap, which we thought of was the roadmap to success.
Yeah.
And in my mind, and people are going to hear in your mind, is not what we would consider the roadmap to success, right?
Right.
It's living in a box, having people tell you what to do, following directions, right? But that's how generations have been brought up. And we follow kind of what we're told to do, right? You listen to people. So that mindset of being a police officer, having a stable job, a stable income and everything, makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't like criminal justice, but you go into communications, right? And
Then I figured I'd get a job. I'd wear a nice outfit and work in the city and help people with their public relations or something. I didn't know. I just wanted a job that was going to pay me, and I wanted a better life than I had growing up.
got it. So that was kind of like your vision.
Stability,
Your
yeah.
vision. Stability. We all want stability,
Keyword,
right?
yeah.
It is a key word. I agree.
Yeah.
So, and I kind of equate stability with comfortability, right? Because you want to have the comfort of knowing at the end of the week, bi-weekly or whenever it is, that a paycheck's, the money's going to be in the bank account. You have X amount of money. You know how much you're going to be able to spend, how much rent or mortgage or whatever it is where you're living, you're going to be able to have available to you,
Yeah.
right? That's the way, right? All right. So you go through college. How was that college experience in general?
I think in hindsight, I don't know what I learned in college. I'm not like, well, now I'm better at math and writing. I don't think I learned anything other than how to be an adult. So I learned that I'm going to start having bills, and I learned that I'm going to have to start talking to adults and having conversations and leading conversations. So I learned to grow up. I didn't learn, I think, what you go to college to learn, right?
Well, again, that's a huge, I don't want to say misnomer because I'm not anti-college. I mean,
Yeah.
I believe in education wholeheartedly. let's dive into a little bit about, education, right? So you learned about growing up,
Yeah.
how to be an adult, how to converse with adults. The material per se wasn't it, right? It was,
Yeah. And I went to college because, like I said, I went to high school in Brookline. All these kids were going to their fancy schools, and my parents didn't go to college. I'm the first of my entire family,
congratulations.
everyone who's ever went
That's
to
awesome.
college.
Yeah.
Thanks. And they weren't like, Alyssa, now you need to fill out college applications. No one told me that. But I watched the environment around me, everyone doing tours and doing apps and SATs. And I remember being like, hey, Mom, I got to do all these things. I have to go to college. That's what we do next.
And probably 100% or 99.9 of those in that high school went on to college.
I think we almost probably had 100% rate going to college there. That's just what you did. That was the next step. So I didn't even know there was another step.
Right.
Would I have taken another step? I don't know, because again, I wanted to just fit in and go along. But that's kind of why I went to college.
Yeah, and that's part of I call it the recipe,
Yeah.
right?
Would I tell my kids to do it? That's a completely different story, and we can get into that.
Yeah, so a huge, and a lot of the folks that I have on, I bring this up because there's been this kind of, I don't want to say, anti-education platform, but people reassessing traditional 4-year, 2-year colleges versus, trades.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm much older than you, but growing up, I just told you what I thought the recipe was, right?
Yep.
Which I did the same exact thing.
I think everyone thinks
right?
that's the recipe.
Everybody did, right? And you, being a young professional that you are, grew up with the same recipe because of the environment you grew on, and that's what you would basically. You weren't told to do it, but your environment told you to do it.
I watched
right?
everyone do
You
it.
watched everyone do it.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? And I know you have younger children, but at some day you're going to have to make a decision with them. What do you think about this boom in trade schools? So,
Love it.
when I was growing up, the kids that got in trouble would go to the trade schools.
Yeah.
Right? Like the vocational schools.
Right.
Like, oh no, what are you talking about? You're not going to college, right? That type of thing. Now you can't get into a vocational school. There's a waiting list. Kids making tons of money. They're not having debt. We need these hands-on workers.
Debt.
What do you debt?
That's a huge part of it too.
What do you have any? I know, and again, I know your kids are young. You don't have to confront this, but do you have, based on what you said, which a lot of people do say, it's not what you learn in college. It's more about how to become an adult and live as an adult.
If my kids wanted to go to college because they genuinely wanted to go, I would say go for it because of the experience I had. That's where I met my husband. That's where I met friends. That's where I became an adult. So I love it for all that. Did I need to pay $100,000 to do all those things? Probably not, right? Had there been a vocational school, even if I knew that was an option, that's probably something I definitely would have looked at. I don't think college is for everyone at all. And I kind of hope it's not for my kids. I hope they go with whatever their passion is. I don't want them rising the corporate ladder. I don't want them sitting at a keyboard all day.
So so very interesting. So you talk about rising the corporate ladder, and you seem pretty adamant about that. So, and we're going to get into your current, what you do and how many things you do, because I did kind of follow the same path, is what did you do after college?
I got a job because that's what you do, right? I knew I wanted to not live with my parents were divorced at this time, and
Yep.
I didn't want to live with either of them. So I was like, I got to get a job. So because I want to get an apartment. So I got a job at a hospital because my parents both worked in healthcare administratively. So I was like, I guess I'll do that because that's what you guys do.
We fall into that trap, right?
Yeah, I was like, I'll go work at a hospital. Fine, like great benefits, not minimum wage.
Benefits,
And
not minimum wage,
Yeah.
comfortable,
so I went there.
stable.
Yeah, and I rose the corporate ladder, and here I am.
So when you say healthcare, like what'd you do? Like right out of college, what'd you do?
I was a secretary in the PACU. So after surgery, you go sit in the PACU, and I was a secretary.
I don't think they use the word secretary anymore.
Oh, really?
Do they say admin or something?
Yeah, you're 100% right. I was the administrative assistant to the PACU.
Okay, and how long? That's interesting.
I think I did that. I moved to different departments all around.
Like, were you in a hospital? So you were in a hospital?
Yeah, I was in a hospital. Faulkner Hospital is where I started.
Oh,
which
okay. Big hospital.
at the time it wasn't though. When I started working there, it was independent. It wasn't part of the whole.
Part of the network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I got a job in orthopedics at a small, well, it's pretty big orthopedic office.
Yep.
Worked my way through there until
As
there
an
was,
admin?
As an admin.
Okay.
Until there was nowhere to go unless I wanted to become a doctor. So then moved on to the next. I got into this company that was building healthcare systems. And I
okay,
was like,
cool.
All right, I can do that because I can do anything.
Yeah.
And I remember getting that job and them telling me what the salary is. And I remember being frozen and being like, I think they think I can do more than I can do. I don't deserve the salary.
Good salary, right?
Good.
Compared to...
I look back now, that's my grocery salary.
Right.
Like,
Well, you can't... Yeah, I get it.
but at the time, I was like, oh, gosh, this is such a great job.
Do they really think I can do X, Y, Z?
And I didn't know how to do it, I will say. I didn't know how to do anything, but I figured out how to do it because I knew I wanted that salary and I knew what I wanted for my life. So I figured out how to do it. I taught myself. I listened to everyone who I could, and I...
What kind of job is it?
So we build Epic. So when
Is
you
this
go
the kind that you're in
This
now?
is what I still do now. Yeah. So I started.
Epic system, like that's the healthcare platform
Yeah. So
for
when you go to the
everybody.
doctor,
Yeah.
that's what the doctor uses. Yep. So I build those systems. So
You build them. How the heck did you learn how to do that?
so you go to classes at Epic. So you go out there and you take classes, and they kind of teach you. I don't want to say coding because it's not coding, but we can say coding for lack of a better word. I worked with a really great guy who mentored me. We would work 7 a.m. till midnight every single day, and he was so good and knew how to do anything that I was like, show me your ways because I want to be the boss of this place. Like, I want to make so much more money. I could run this whole thing. And he showed me everything, and I became really good at it because that's kind of my thing. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it really good. And I became the lead, and I became the senior, and I got higher and higher, and now here I am.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, here I am.
Now what?
Yeah, now what? So we're gonna get to now what, but that's really cool. So I want to ask you a few questions because I think this goes to this entrepreneurial black belt mindset shift and whatever. So a couple of questions. What was the shift, or what was that point in your life that you said, and I know it was the new job offer, but like you were an secretary / admin for several years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you get offered this job, and I know you said the attraction was money at first, and you didn't know how to do it, right? Was the shift the money? Was the shift? Yeah.
I didn't care what I did.
Okay.
I had no passion in the job. I wasn't like, wow, I work in IT and I help people. I didn't care about that. There was zero passion.
It was
whatsoever.
financial.
It was, I want the life that I've always wanted, that my parents couldn't give me, and I want it 10 times better, and I want to give it to my kids. And so that was my mindset, was work really hard to get this life.
So the motivator was money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that bad?
No, that's honest and transparent and probably what most people feel, but say something else.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. So finances was the switch with this job offer. I'm very interested in the fact that you went and took a leap of, I'm going to call it a leap of faith. You didn't know what the heck you were doing.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
What was it about you, your past, your grit, what was it? Because most people go, oh, the money's great, but I don't know what the heck IT is. I can't do that. And then go back to something that's comfortable. So what was it for you that said,
I don't know. I've always been someone that's like, I can do that. I can
but
do
how?
that.
Like, what? Can you think of anything? Was it?
Maybe growing up, I had no one to do that for me.
Okay.
So I did it, and that's made me a stronger person.
Yep.
I don't know.
That's
Maybe
tough, right? I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. A lot of people take the easy way out and go, "Oh no, no, no." Don't make another
Yeah.
excuse, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it was just my job to figure it out for me. I was the only one looking out for me. No one gave me money. No one did. And I don't want to say this in a way that my parents didn't try, because
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
think it was that. It was they just couldn't do everything that I needed or wanted, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I always took it upon myself to just do it because I knew what I wanted. I'm very strong and determined. When I want something, I'm gonna make it
You
happen.
sound driven,
Driven, yeah, that's
right?
a
You're
nicer word.
driven.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it happen.
You're going to make it happen even if you don't know how to do it.
100%.
Let's talk about mentors. I'm a huge proponent of mentors, and I think mentors change people's lives, and we don't utilize them enough. People don't utilize them enough, or none.
Yeah.
When you mentioned about the person at the company, you called this person a mentor.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So I just met him working. He was a consultant that came in to help us kind of newbies figure out how to build the system. And I just immediately was like, oh, he's really smart. He knows how to do this to another level. He knows how to do this better than the people at Epic showing us how to do
Oh, so he
this.
didn't work for Epic.
No.
He was
a
an outside consultant.
And and I kind of was like, show me your ways. How do I do all this? I need to get as good as you. And we would just work together on projects. And he was like, oh, you are as good. And I think just hearing that, I was like, all right, I can do it too. Let's do it. And like I said, I'm a hard worker, and I went for it and I did it. And I almost became, I guess everyone's disposable at their job, but I think came to the point where they kind of needed me because I was the one who really knew how to do everything.
That's amazing. And for people that don't know, everything is epic.
Yeah.
Right? No pun intended.
Yeah.
But do you have any idea of like how many institutions, hospitals, healthcare? I mean, this is all over the country.
World, yeah. I could not give you numbers. I have no idea. I mean, everywhere in Boston you go, but world.
No, I know other states use it too, but you're saying out of the country too?
Oh, yeah, world. So you can go anywhere. With these certifications, which is great, and which kind of initially when I started getting into it was like, ooh, this is cool. I could become a
could move
consultant and I
somewhere
can
else.
move somewhere else. And my husband and I talked about it for a while. Should we move to Nashville? Because all their hospitals are on it, and we were trying to figure out what we wanted with life.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, exactly. They're on it.
My daughter went to school in college in Nashville.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, worldly. So everyone's on it.
That's really cool. So Epic is the platform where it's like Portal, right? Where you can get your healthcare records and see all the tests, your doctors, and everybody communicates. I think that's really cool too. Like if you go and you're, say, in Nashville, but you're originally from Boston and your records are here,
Yeah.
you have that because before
connect, yep.
they can access, right? Because before, if you think about it, it didn't make sense, or it was, I don't want to say archaic. We just didn't have the capability of, oh my God forbid someone got in a car crash in Nashville, but has this prior history of
it's
XYZ.
It's patient safety. I mean, it does a great job at that.
Changed.
I think looking at it now, the itch that it kind of scratched for me was it was allowing me to create and use that creative side of me because I was designing it. So a doctor wanted their screen to look this way and to do this. And when he clicks on this button, this to open. So I got to have that creative outlet to do those things. And I think it was good until it wasn't good enough anymore. And I'm still doing it, so I don't want to.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking about the platform in general for society is huge.
It's
because
huge.
I can always remember in the day, we didn't know that, or we didn't know that, because nobody had records that they could access from a different jurisdiction or a different town or city or state or country. Right now, you're talking country, which is
Worldwide.
Worldwide. That's amazing. Okay, and how long have you been where you are today?
I started at Mount Auburn, and I worked there for, I don't know, maybe 5 years. And then I moved to the health center in East Boston, and that's where I am now.
East Boston Neighborhood Health Center?
Yes. It's called Neighbor Health now.
Oh, Neighbor Health.
Yep. And I've been there for a while before I moved to North Reading. So maybe 7 years now.
Awesome.
Still kicking there.
Okay, and you mentioned before about climbing the corporate ladder. Where are you in the position wise?
I'm a senior analyst now. I think I could climb more, but I stopped. Once I had my first child, I was like, oh, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to be the boss. And then as I had kids, I slowed down and I realized I don't want to be the boss. I don't want to have people calling out to me and me having to pick up their slack and do their work and find coverage and things that are so mean nothing to me. It was just stuff I didn't want to do. So I kind of halted myself where I am as just being a senior analyst, and I've been that for a while, and I'm happy with that. I don't want more. I want to give my job what my job gives me. They give me stability, right? But they aren't going to give me my family. They're not going to give me my time. And so I'm now that I have kids, very cautious of it's 5 o'clock, the work day's over, I'm with my family. I don't want to be that person that has to answer the phone because
No, there's no price. I say this all the time, no matter what age we are and people walk of life is there's no price for time.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, there's always this conundrum of, I want to make this amount of money, which means I have to work X number of hours, and you start to do the hourly rate and you end up working 100 and something hours. You have this huge
100%.
salary. And at the end of the day, financially, you're not making anything. You're killing yourself physically and mentally.
And I did that for years. I'd work till midnight. I didn't get paid till midnight.
No, but that's your drive.
Yeah, it was my drive. And I didn't have kids, so I had nothing to really go home to, right? It's like,
right? So you just keep on
I
going
go home,
and going.
watch a show, and that's that. So now I'm like, I have things to go home to. I have things to do. I want to bring my kids to a practice. I want to coach a team. I want to do things for my family. I want to cook dinner. And you can't do that if you keep climbing the corporate ladder.
So you a good cook?
I am a good cook.
Yeah.
I'm a good cook. I'm a good baker. I got into sourdough like everyone else. I love a hobby. So if there's something that everyone's learning how to do, I'm going to learn how to do it, and I'm going to do it good.
That's the creative side you mentioned.
The creative side of me,
right?
for sure.
Tell us about the coaching. You mentioned about coaching. What do you coach? Or do
I coach
coach
my daughter's cheer team, which is honestly hilarious to me. Because,
cheering?
Yeah, because I don't have any experience in cheer, but my daughter wanted me to be her coach, and I said, I'll be your coach. I'll learn everything I can, and here we go.
So kind of like the job in IT. I don't know anything about it.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it good.
What was the drive for that? Just because it was your daughter and you wanted?
Yeah, my kid wanted me to be there with him. I never had my parents coach. I never had my parents go to all my games, and I just want to be that parent, right? I want to be at every single game. I want to be at the hockey rink at 6:50 because that's where my daughter wants to be.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
2 girls and a boy?
2 girls and a boy.
It's so interesting because later on, when they get older, you're going to see they remember that. They're going to go,
so.
Mom, Dad, I remember that you were at practices, games, and that, and this time is very precious.
Yeah, it really is.
Not to understand, and there's no value, there's no money, there's no whatever, and life is short, right? Mm-hmm. Life, especially, the world's crazy and things are going on. You gotta help out those kids, right? Yeah. So you what resonates a little bit with you is I didn't have X, and you're not saying that in a negative way or a bad way. I didn't have X, and I want to provide this for my kids, my family.
And that goes with everything. I didn't have a car like this, so I want a car like this. I didn't have a house like this, so I want a house like this. I didn't have the money to buy these clothes, so I want my kids to have these clothes. And it's going to bite me in the butt on the other way because now I'm raising kids.
Just with your credit cards.
Yeah, no, because now I'm raising kids complete opposite than I was raised. So I need to teach myself how to not spoil them in a sense, but allow them to not have worry that there's no money. I never want them to hear me say, we don't have money for that, because I listen to that every week. We don't have money for that. We don't have money for that.
Yeah.
And I don't want my kids to hear that.
Yeah, I think in general, though, whether it's finances or whether it's opportunities or whatever it is we always want our kids to do better, have more.
Yep.
I mean, kids of today like, oh, I'm traveling to Europe. I'm like, where? You're
Yeah.
going where? I went to,
Yeah. And I think that's true of my parents too. I think they, as much as they didn't give me everything that I wanted, they didn't get anything that they wanted either, right? Like they did better with me than their parents probably did with them. And I'm doing better with my kids. And I'm sure my kids, I don't know how they're going to top me, but I'm sure they'll be able to do better
you
too.
never know. AI.
Right?
Right? All right. So you've been in this job. You're a senior analyst.
Yeah.
There is opportunity for growth. Have they approached you to say, do you want to do X? Do you want to?
I'm very like, I want my bare minimum of working my hours and I want to leave early on this day every week because I'm doing this with my kids.
And what do they say about that?
They're so flexible. I do have a really good boss who is very flexible. And she knows that's what my priority is. I've been very open about it. I'm like, if I'm not the right person to work here, I understand if you guys want someone that's gonna, give 110%, but I'm gonna give my 100% and get the job done, and that's that. I'm gonna be at every class party, and
It's awesome. So
Yeah.
important. So fulfilling too.
yeah.
What about your husband? Does he feel the same way?
He climbed the corporate ladder, and he's
Yep.
still climbing, and he's gotten himself pretty high up on it.
No, I'm stuck.
Yeah, and now I think that's kind of the good part. I know we haven't gotten into Wellsbury yet, but that's kind of the part of me that I feel so lucky is that he's always going to have that stability. So even if I make a decision to move forward and only do Wellsbury, I know I still have his stability, and I don't know if that's a good or bad point.
What kind of work is he in?
He is in healthcare too, because when he got out of college, I said, well, we can go get jobs in healthcare.
That's right. You met in college, right?
Yeah. So he kind of followed suit on that. And now he runs a pediatric practice. He's not a doctor. That's the first question everybody asks.
Yeah, but
Neither
that's
of us are
awesome.
doctors, but yeah, he runs a practice, and he doesn't have the flexibility that I have. So it's nice that one of us can,
Balance.
we balance each other
Balance
very well.
each other out. Good,
Yeah.
good, good. So what does your sister do?
She's a stay-at-home mom.
She is.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Living the dream.
Good,
Yeah.
good. All right, what brought you to North Reading?
COVID.
Tell us about that.
Ugh, COVID. COVID has changed me and
Changed
changed
everybody,
everyone, right?
Alyssa. Changed everyone.
Before COVID, I was driving from Malden to Cambridge every single day. Dropped my kid off at 7 in the morning, picked her up at 5:30 at night. Spent an hour with her and then put her to bed.
Because you were at Mount Auburn?
I was at Mount Auburn, yep, and we lived in a really cute house in Malden. COVID happened, and it was work from home, and I was like, oh, okay. So I'll work from home. Our house was, and my husband too, he was in healthcare, so he was work from home. And our house was lovely. I was pregnant with my second daughter. So it was pregnant me, my husband, my daughter, and we were like, we got to get out of here. Like, we are suffocating in this house. We had no yard. They built our house like on a cliff, which if you know Malden, everything's rocks and cliffs. Built our house on a cliff, so our yard was a cliff. And I was like, we got to get out of here. Like, this is suffocating.
And you're confined.
So confined. There's nowhere to go. Everyone obviously you couldn't go for a walk without wearing a mask, which is so embarrassing looking back at it now.
I think we learned a lot, right?
We learned a lot. That's all I say. I'm like, that was so embarrassing. Like, what were we thinking as a society? But we did it.
Boy.
We did it. And that being said, I was like, I can't live here anymore. I can't do this. Like, I need land. I want my kids to go outside and play. I need to go outside and see sun. Let's get out of here. And I've always made very rash decisions with moving. When we bought our first condo, I remember I just had my daughter. She was probably 6 weeks old. And I said to my husband, we got to move. It was a 3-family. And I was like, the neighbors are loud upstairs. He's like, I know, like, you're tired. It's a lot. And I was like, the realtor will be here this afternoon. Like, we're moving.
I'm out of here.
I was like, there's no time to wait. We're out. And so we moved and we bought that house. And when I bought that house, I was like, I can live here forever. This is great. The neighbors are great. And then COVID happened. I was like, these neighbors are way too close to us. We got to get out of here. And we moved. And now we're in North Reading. And I love it here.
What do you love about it?
I just love the community. It's so small and everyone knows everyone. And I guess that could have two sides, right? But it's just been great.
How long have you lived here?
we moved in when on my daughter's birthday, so 21, and now it's 26.
2021.
Yeah.
So about five
Yeah.
years or so.
It's such a different mindset here than in the city, and I think it almost goes back to that corporate ladder.
Yeah.
Everyone here owns a business. Everyone I talk to is a business owner here. They're doing, whether it's landscaping or whatnot. It's just such a different mentality here, and I love that. I just love the energy. I love the community. The kids being in sports have been great. The schools are great. The physical space has been great, having land and space. That's something now, even looking back, I'm like, we could have even moved further and had a little more land, but still happy.
Yeah, and I'm sure it feels like a country compared to
Totally.
living where you were living, right? You had
I've
no
always
land.
lived in apartments.
Got it. All right. So now let's talk about the birth of Wellswear. So when you first told me about Wellswear, I'm like, what the heck is Wellswear?
What's
Right?
Wellswear?
And I'm like, okay. And then I got to Google and I look and I go, oh, wear clothing, Wells. Where
I
Wells
know,
come from?
it's catchy. I don't know if I would have went with the name. I told you this before. Had I known that I was going to grow and get bigger so fast, maybe I would have just done like,
No.
I don't know. But now it's stuck and now it's a thing.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure what type of business it was, right? Because
Yeah, that's not good though. We should know what our business is by, I don't know.
maybe you can add a tagline if you want after.
I do, for local legends, which I love. That's my favorite part
There you
of
go.
it.
All right. So, how did you get into this? What was the inspiration? What was the desire? What was the change?
Yeah, I've always been a creative, as we know.
Yep.
If you can do something, I can do it, and I'll do it myself, and I'll do it better. Clothing was coming out every time you join a sports team. They're like, all right, here's the clothes you can buy. And I was like, this stuff is so expensive, and it's not cute. And I was like, I don't want to wear this. I'm not going to buy it.
Because your kids, right? Your kids were playing town sports?
Yeah, just town sports. And I was like, I don't want to wear this. I could make this myself so much better. And so I did. And then I started getting orders from friends.
Well, wait a minute. So I did. Like, what do you mean? What you did?
I did.
Could you like how?
I figured out how to get clothing for a low price through manufacturers. I'll figure it out. I figured it out. I figured out how you get the logos on the clothing, and I was like, let's.
Do you do that, or do you have someone else do it?
I do it. I do it all in house.
All right. So let's for the audience talk about. So Wellswear is, how would you describe it? A local.
Yeah, so we create clothing and merch for teams, businesses, schools.
Everything,
Yes, I
everything.
could create this for you. The shirt you're wearing right now. Your belts.
Yeah.
We design them with you. So I design it right with the person rather than a lot of the places you go to. They're like, here's the 10 shirts. We'll put your logo on it. Send me your logo.
Correct.
I kind of took that back and I was like, send me your logo, but I'm going to adjust some things. I'm going to put it on clothes you actually want to wear. So do you want to wear it on an Adidas pullover? Or do you want to wear it on a cropped shirt? Do you want to wear it on whatnot? And I made it so it's
more appealing.
Yeah, more appealing. And I did it with the intention of giving money back to the organizations that were using me. So it's kind of a way to help with marketing too, right? So
Yeah. So tell me the philosophy.
So the philosophy is, you guys sell 100 sweatshirts. I'll give you 10% of those sales right back to you. So it's a fundraiser in one. You're getting clothing that you actually want to wear. And we're both promoting each other. So I'm promoting, say, Little League, and Little League is promoting me. So it's just that community kind of helping each other back
give
and
and
forth.
take.
Yeah.
Where did you come up with that business model?
Along the road. So
Along the
I
road.
really did. It wasn't.
Well, it's a journey, right? And
Yeah,
it's
I never
not-
had to. I didn't sit down and I was like, let's make a business plan. There was none of that.
When did this start?
So this is when it started. My husband climbed the corporate ladder at MGB and got laid off very suddenly.
Okay.
All of a sudden he got laid off. I was like, we'll never get laid off. We're in healthcare. It's safe. Well, he got laid off. And I said to him, and a lot of people, I don't know if people agree or disagree with this, I said, you have 2 weeks You can wallow for 2 weeks. You can be sad for 2 weeks because it's a hit, right? Like your whole career, he thought he was going to do one thing, and that was proving to not be true.
Yeah, and you have a family and potential family,
Yeah,
right?
we have a family, we have bills. I said, you have 2 weeks to wallow. You can mope around the house. He likes to go outside and plant. I was like, you can garden, you can do all that stuff. You can go play golf, do whatever you want to do. But after 2 weeks, you're going to sit at a computer. You're going to start calling people, and you're going to get a job. And I said, in the meantime,
You said this.
I said this to him.
You're a drill sergeant.
I am, and in a loving way. Like, I think you need time for your emotions and to be like, wow, that was a huge loss. But like, also like, get it together. Like, this is life. We have bills. We have a mortgage. We have kids. Like, we got to do this, and you're going to do it. And I didn't have faith that he wouldn't do it. I knew we would get it together.
No,
and
you
get a
know
job.
it, obviously, but don't you think a lot of times I've seen throughout my life, people's identity, right, is attached a lot of times to what they do for work.
100%. That's
Right?
why I gave him 2 weeks to wallow.
And it could be, and it can be, and it is for a lot of people like a major emotional hit,
It was.
right?
It was. And
So I gave him 2 weeks.
So I
to
gave him 2
wallow.
weeks. I
Go
said, you have
golf and
2
go
weeks.
plant.
Yeah, go enjoy your time. He got a severance, right? So it wasn't like we were going to lose the house. And
Okay.
and he's so opposite of me. He lost his job and he was like, call a realtor. We're going to have to move. We've got to sell the house. And I'm like, whoa, take it down a notch. You're still getting the same amount of money you get. You have this many months. You'll get a job before then. Have some time.
You're working.
I have a job. Get your emotions together. We'll get this done. And we obviously did. But in that time, I decided I will make up some extra money and I'll push out these, at this point, it was sweatshirts and t-shirts a lot harder.
So did you, I think I read somewhere that you started making things for yourself, right? Just because you weren't
Just wasn't impressed
excited
with what was
about
out
the,
there. Yeah.
what
It
was
was
out there?
fine, but it just was fine. I don't
So
want
you-
to pay $65 for a sweatshirt. That's fine.
Right. So then you start making your own, and then people start saying what?
Quickly, my friends were like, oh, can you make me that? Can you make me that? And I was like, sure. I wasn't charging anyone. I was like, yeah, here, have a sweatshirt, or buy a sweatshirt and bring it over and I'll do it for you. And then it kind of quickly, I think because North Reading is such a small town, caught wind. And people were like, hey, we have a whole team of 8th graders that would want a matching shirt. Can you do that? And I was like, yeah, no problem. And then it became, oh, our whole league wants shirts from you. Can you do that? No problem. And that's kind of where, I said I didn't have a business plan, but that's where in my head I was like, I got to start making a plan.
Yeah.
I'm growing, and what do I want to do with this? Where do I want to take
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And how much can I take on and how much can I do? And I'm at my capacity probably now
So
with how much I can do working
That is
2 jobs.
awesome. I
Yeah.
love this. So when, what? I know you told me the time frame, but what year? So what year did you start doing?
Last April.
That's it.
Yeah, I know.
And
I know.
it's
And it just grew
it's
that fast.
flourished.
I have girls now, probably, I would say 30 hours a week. I have interns working for me, helping me, because there's no way I could do it myself at this point. So they're helping make the clothes. I have an intern that does my social media. That's the part that I don't enjoy, and that's so hard, but so necessary now.
so necessary. Yeah, I tell people
Like,
this
I
story.
need TikToks. Can someone help me?
So 1,000 years ago, 31 years ago, almost your age, right? I opened my first location.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I did? I held up in the window. I taped
That's fine.
a paper sign, a
Mm-hmm.
paper sign that a company. He was good with calligraphy.
Yeah.
Grand opening, karate, October 1995 or
Yeah.
whatever the date was, and that was it. And I had a flood of people calling this, that.
Yeah, you can't do that now.
Can't do it.
No.
right?
Now you need to go viral dancing wearing something.
It's crazy,
So
right?
I'm
So you-
lucky in my network. I found someone who's going to school for that, and I was like, "Can you help me?"
So what did you do? Seek out intern? Because now to pay
Yeah.
people, I mean, minimum wage is $15,
Yeah,
right?
I pay more than minimum wage, so I think the girls that work for me are probably happy with that. I think I'm a fun person to work for, and we
Yeah,
have
you
a
seem
we have a
awesome.
good time
It's
together.
fun, yeah.
We really do.
But where'd you get the interns? People that
So initially, North Reading High School has a program where they need the high school seniors all work on an internship their senior year. So I did post something with them and didn't find anyone that was the right fit through that.
Yep.
But one of my babysitters was like, hey, my friend's going to school for this. She'd love to do it. And I met with her and immediately was like, oh, yeah, you can do this. Let's go. And so she's been making me dance in TikToks and
So they're doing
posting my clothes. I
someone's-
don't post anything online anymore. She does it all for me, which is nice. I answer the DMs because it's questions mostly. But she does all the posting. And then I have 1 or 2 girls a week physically making the clothes for me. So taught them how to do that. And
So when you say physically making the clothes, what does that mean?
so we have transfers that I get.
Like heat transfers?
Yeah, with logos.
Yeah.
I do all the ordering, so I order from the manufacturers, and I have all the orders on my website. I kind of am more behind the scenes, behind the computer, organizing everything, making the website. I built that from scratch.
Yourself?
Myself from scratch. I will say ChatGPT helped a lot with the coding.
AI helps. Claude coding.
Yes.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, I would put a code in and I was like, now change this blue. And it would give me the hex code to change the blue.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so that was helpful, but I built the website myself. So now I build the stores myself. So I'll have someone reach out for me. I think recently Stoneham Field Hockey was one. So they reached out. They want a field hockey store.
What do you mean by I saw it, but tell the audience about the store.
So they reach out and they say, we want a store for our parents and kids to be able to buy merch. We don't want to deal with it. We don't want to be taking the orders because in the past, that's what they were doing. So they're coaching your kids and then they're taking orders for your clothing and your sizing and dealing with collecting your money. And they're like, we don't want to do any of that. You handle all of that. So I build the store for them. So I design all the clothes. I send them mock-ups and I say, all right, here's sweatshirts, here's t-shirts, here's bows, here's all the stuff. What do you like? What do you dislike? Which is something that they've never really had when you kind of go to these bigger places that do what I do. Like I said, they're like, here's the 10 shirts and we'll put your logo that you send us right on it. So I do a lot more back
You're
and
doing
forth.
one-stop shopping.
Yes, 100%, a one-stop shop. And I go back and forth with them until we design stuff that they really like. I put it on the website, the orders come in, and I fulfill them, I make them, and I send them out.
So you basically do everything.
I do.
That's
Everything.
awesome.
It's a lot.
Yeah, we're going to get to that, obviously. So you got heat transfers. You have anything else? Do you do embroidery? Do you do
I
silk
have-
screening? Do you do
Yeah.
anything else? Because
A lot of that old school stuff, like the screen printing and stuff, isn't as popular anymore just because
Okay.
it's so messy.
yeah, and you have to change the colors. Then you
yeah.
got to change the screen. Then you got to do.
Where I am now in my house, I'm absolutely not going to do that. I'm as you can tell, a type A neat freak.
Yeah.
I'm not having paint everywhere. So I do the heat transfers. I order embroidery patches, and I have a hat press. So I make
You have a what?
a hat press, like a heat hat press,
Oh, okay. I'm like, what?
and make hats. I'm getting an embroidery machine that is kind of phase 2 because of space. So it's something I'm working on with what's my next step with my space.
You're doing this all out of your house?
I am, and that's where it's getting too much. I don't have room. My living room is just Gildan boxes, floor to ceiling. It's a lot. It's a lot of space. It's a lot of work, but I'm having so much fun.
So
And I've realized, why am I climbing corporate ladders when I could be doing this, having fun, giving people something they want.
and making some money. So,
Yeah. That too.
right?
Yeah.
So this has only been a year and a half.
Yeah.
Talk about entrepreneurial spirit, right? That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And especially during this climate,
Yeah.
right? To have a small business, it's tough.
Yeah.
I know it's tough, right? Because we talk about marketing, we talk about, the different ways of getting the word out there. How do you collaborate? How do you network? How do you do this? And you're working full time.
Yeah.
Where do you find the time to do this?
I wake up really early. I
What's early?
probably I try to get up by 5. Like on a good day, I'll set my alarm. I won't snooze at all, but I'm pretty good about not
I
snoozing.
won't snooze at
I won't
all.
snooze.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
But-
good about that. And I get going. I definitely crash out in the evening. My brain's not as good in the evening, and I'm like, it's time for bed, so I can go to bed when my kids go to bed. I mean, weekends, I've said no to going to a lot of things, or my poor husband has had to take my kids alone to a lot of birthday parties and weekend events because I can't do it.
Because you're working?
Yeah, because I have to get
You have
people are placing orders, and I'm
you
going
got
to fulfill
deadlines,
them.
right?
Yeah, I have deadlines, and I don't think this will be forever. But for right now, while I'm building, this is what I have to do. I have to work hard now.
Off the topic question, I have to say no. A lot of people have a hard time saying no, and I know this is off topic, but no's a word, right? You have to be able to say no.
Yeah.
I mean, thank God you have a husband that's understanding. You got a
Yeah.
partner that's willing to fulfill.
I try to never say no to any business stuff right now. So if you need 100 sweatshirts tomorrow,
Oh yeah, I'm not talking about that. I mean, like you can't go to an event because you have to work. I can't.
I'm good at saying no to stuff like that.
That's what I'm
because,
saying.
Yeah,
That's
my
what I'm saying.
priority right now is growing this business, and nothing is going to get in the way of that other than my children. If my kids,
Right.
I will absolutely leave to go, like I said, to a hockey game. But other than that, my priority is growing the business.
So you wake up at 5.
I work for 2 hours doing Wellswear, and then I have to start my job that
You got kids.
yeah.
You got to get them ready for
get them out of the
school.
house, yep.
You got to get them out of the house. You got to get them breakfast. You got to get them
Yeah.
ready. Like,
I don't know. I wish I knew, and I wish there was like some thing I could be like, well, I don't know how I do it. I genuinely don't. I just do. I wake up and I just get through it all, and then the day's over and I do it again. I mean, my husband's super helpful. I have the girls now helping me with Wellswear. So I sit in my office and I'm on my laptop doing my IT job, and they're 5 feet away from me pressing shirts, and that's how I work all day.
so do you? Is your 9 to 5er remote?
Yes, I'm fully
100%.
remote. Yes,
So that helps, right?
tremendously.
Because you're not driving. you're not
Tremendously. I
doing-
couldn't do it if I was commuting 2 hours a day, and I wouldn't. I think there's so many things that I think of, and I'm like, oh, that's an out to not doing my 9 to 5. That's an out, and I don't know why I'm hanging on still.
Okay, so let's get to that a little bit. So we've spoken about at the outset when you were a criminal justice major, and you mentioned being a police officer, stability. I talked about the recipe of people, for lack of a better word, that we're giving this timeline of life that we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
I used the word, we discussed it's comfortable, it's predictable, the paycheck, I'm doing it for finances. We talked about all of those concrete, easily accessible, touchy, it's there. Like this is here, right?
Yeah.
You're now in a year's time crushing it,
Yeah.
where people would just go, right?
Right.
What's your vision? What's your vision?
My vision is brick and mortar, and my holdup is I can't do a brick and mortar until I leave my job. And I don't want to leave my job because of the stability. I get a paycheck that comes into my bank account every week. With Wellswear, there's weeks where I'm like, whoa, that came into my bank account. And then there's weeks where I'm like, where is everyone? Did I make a mistake? So it's just not the same thing. And it's hard. And I know to do well in business, you have to take that leap. But something's pulling me like, be careful. Because I've never had this ability growing up, and now I have it.
I don't see you in this very short time as someone being cautious.
That's funny.
Yeah. You're a risk taker.
Yeah.
I think that, you're driven. How else would you describe yourself?
Driven, hardworking, I mean, first and foremost, a mom. I feel like
Oh, no, absolutely.
that's my entire identity.
Right. But to be a mom, you have to be driven and have a good work ethic. Look at
Yeah. I mean, I'm type A. I'm going to get it done and I'm going to get it done right. I think my flaw is not letting people do enough for me. Even with the girls doing my wells, where I'm like, all right, just push it a little over to the right. Are you sure it's center?
Yeah, but you're the
So
owner and the boss.
Yeah. I don't want to be a micromanager because I hate being micromanaged, but I feel myself doing that a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, driven, hard worker, and I'm gonna have everything I want, and anyone can have everything they want if you work for it.
So I'm sure you financially make a good paycheck. You know it's predictable
Yeah.
and it's there. You've decided already not to, quote, use your words, climb the corporate ladder any further. So you're going to give X percentage to your 9 to 5, and you're going to give X percentage to Wellsware. Sooner or later, you're going to have to make a decision.
Yeah, I think I'm at the sooner or later. I'm at my capacity. Did we make a decision now? Is this us making a decision?
I went through I gave you a 2-second
Yeah.
thing that I worked for 32 years in a position, 6 months, 12 months out of college, whatever it was. And again, I stayed that recipe for 32 years. I retired early. People thought I was crazy because I wasn't getting a full pension. But I needed to follow my passion.
Yeah.
Follow and execute my passion. Because what I found out was my passion was getting liquefied. It wasn't to the standard that I wanted and needed it to be because I wasn't there. And I was there, but I wasn't there the amount that I needed to be there.
Right.
Right? So the quality controls weren't there.
Yeah.
So then you have to make a decision, right? I could have waited 3 years and gotten this extra or whatever. Was it going to change my life? Absolutely not. If someone said, stay 3 years, you're going to get $10 billion. Well, that's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
So you start weighing this risk-reward type of thing, and you go, you know what? I mean, that's this for me. Everybody's different. But I took a plunge, and I just said, boom. And you know what? There was no stopping. There isn't one day of regret
Yeah.
that I have.
That's what every single person I've talked to says.
Right.
I've gotten the same advice over and over. You take the plunge, you take the risk, and it works out, and it's gonna work out. And I say that to everyone too. I'm like, you can do anything you want. It's gonna work out if you just work hard. But to myself, I'm like, oh well.
No, I'm not saying it all, and I don't, and people, would be not really honest and transparent with you. You can have this side little business, but it's just going to be that. It's going to be a side little business.
And I don't
And
want
if you're
that.
okay with that,
You're right.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's great. Brings in a little extra money. You're helping the community. You're giving back.
Yeah.
You're doing this. That's perfectly fine. A lot of people do that. But if your aspirations are a little bit more, which already in the short time that I've met you and known you, I think your aspirations are more. If we're closing down, we got a couple of minutes left. I asked about the vision. Give me like the perfect scenario. So you said brick and mortar. Tell me about, say we're hypothetically now, with no pressure, obviously, and no convincing. You got tell me what this would look like. Tell me like what this business would look like in 2030.
Sure. In 2030.
Yeah, 4 years.
That's only 4 years. Okay. Well,
look what you did in 1 year.
yeah, no, I know. I'm like 4 years. I could have a lot by 4 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's go.
My short-term plan, I can't even give you 4 years.
Okay.
My short-term
That's
plan
okay. No pressure. Short-term
is
plan.
to brick and mortar. I
Yep.
want a store. I want people to be able to walk in and say, I'm going to the football game tonight. I've got nothing. Make me something. I want to be able to customize and make them something right there in the store. But I also want to have racks of, here's all of the football stuff for, the surrounding towns. I want to be taking big orders from companies and businesses and schools still.
So you want to expand. You want your
Yeah.
route. right? Because your roots are, the foundation are, local schools and things like that. But now from there, you want to grow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But those are still the people I want to work with. I want to work with the people that are passionate about their sport or their school or their small business. Those are just the people I enjoy talking to and being around, and that's the people I want to give back to. I don't want to give my 10% back to Target. I want to give my 10% back to a business that just opened in town or a school that needs that money to keep a teacher going.
Where would you open the store, hypothetically? Not holding you to anything, because
I have ideas. Definitely North Reading. This town's been so supportive to me. Like I said, I find it to be a town where we're full of business owners, and this is where I'd like to be. And I think we have great towns around us, and
yeah,
I get great business from the towns around us. So
yeah, because
I would want to be here.
surrounding the.
And I think, I've said this a million times, but my kids are my number one, right? So I want to be able to have this store close to my house, and I want to go to the party at the school, and I want to go to the practice after school. So I can't be too far.
I love it. I love it. And you know what I really like? Because you said something like, oh, I have this event. Can you make me something quick? Do you know how many people like off the cuff are going, oh, I didn't know I was going to do X. Could you make me 5 mugs that I could give to?
I do know because
right?
I get those emails
get
every
those-
day.
right.
I do know. And it is
Because people,
fast.
you know how like, yes, you're going to get the orders. Yeah, we need 100 T-shirts that say X. Here's the thing. I get it. But you also have like, can I pop in? Whether it be online, everything's online. I was going to say catalog. We're going back, but
No catalog, yeah.
no online. I see that you could you do this?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, I need it by 2 days or tomorrow or whatever, right?
And I get those emails all the time. People are like, can you do this? I only have a week. And I'm like, a week? I'll have it by the end of the day, because that's what I want to be. I want everyone to be happy. I want it to be fast. I want it to look good.
And you need to separate from a business owner to a business owner. You need to separate yourself from other companies and businesses that have a similar space.
100%. You
Right?
know how many of us exist. And I've heard the feedback I've heard a lot is that I'm fulfilling a need that we really needed, that I think no one realized we needed, right? So we didn't realize, and it's so silly because we're talking about sweatshirts, but no one realized how many people last minute need a sweatshirt for this event and this event, but they do. And I think I've proven that they do. The sales have proven that they do.
What if you were watching, we were talking about this earlier, the World Cup, and
100%.
unfortunately
It's
the
all that
USA
stuff.
lost. But what if someone wanted to go, oh, we're having a World Cup party.
Mm-hmm.
This person is from this country and I'm from this country. Could you put something together? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So that stuff, and that's the fun stuff to make. Like that's the small orders where it's like, me and my friends are going away this weekend and we want to wear matching shirts. I love doing that stuff because that's
Right.
my creative side gets to come out. Let's make something cool. But then it's so fun going into the stands on a Friday and watching the high school team play and just seeing all my stuff everywhere.
That must be really cool.
It's a really good feeling. It's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, would love to, I hope, before we do that, how do people get in touch with you?
Shopwellswear.com.
Shop Wellswear, and it's, spell it out for me.
WELLSWEAR.
.com.
So Wells, which is my son's name, and wear, because you're wearing what I'm making. So shopwellswear.com. We're on Instagram, Facebook, but you can buy anything online. We have a Shopify store.
So people can purchase online
Oh, yeah, that's where
already.
that's where everybody does purchase.
Perfect. And
Yep.
if they have any questions, there's an area where they can
I
reach
built
out.
a beautiful
Chat.
website with an area where they can reach me, but I give my phone number to anyone, my email, and I'm inundated throughout all the days of people looking for me for their last minute stuff, and I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. You are a true entrepreneur, and I think that your story is going to resonate with a lot of people, and it's going to help a lot of people to give them the confidence that, hey, I can do this,
Yeah.
or I can do that.
I want people to know that they don't have to rise a corporate ladder. They can do what they want to do, make money, and have fun.
Well, when we have you back on, I am very anxious to hear your story, because
Yeah.
I know it's going to be, boom, it's
Yeah.
going to be to the
It will be.
moon.
will
Pleasure
be.
having you on.
Thank you.
I look forward to watching and seeing your success, being in the town myself,
Yeah.
and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.